All right. Welcome in, everybody. Episode 97 of the Illiana Stock Car Radio.
Are you gonna shout
Here,
out John Nutley again?
yeah, it's 97, not
Hey,
96.
he was both
Back
96 and 97.
back in the day, he ran like two
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah, he was
Okay, fair
97
enough.
before he was 96, but that might have been before Jeremy's time. God, now I
Yep.
feel old.
Yeah.
He ran the 97 in my time when I was, just a
Yeah,
little
but you were younger, but you were going to the track before he was.
true. Yeah, I was 6 days old, April 29th, 1990. But who's counting?
Yeah.
Mom, I believe.
Yeah. Maybe somebody's counting. Somebody cares.
Anyway, back to racing.
Back to racing. If you haven't figured it out by now, Jeremy Banning here with the brothers Goodacre, Chris and Brian. Oh, what do we got going on this week, guys?
Oh, we had a lot.
We got a rain delay, I think.
Yeah, we had a rain delay. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
As did everything else last week. So
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago now.
yeah,
Yeah, a
it
lot
all
of rain.
blends together now at this point.
I
I
got
think we're also old.
I got a little Friday night action in, and then we found a track on the road somewhere on that Saturday. We ventured back out to Plymouth, and then again to mini wedges that Sunday, and rain
Mhm.
moved in, and off we went back home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then we
And I think we still brought home as many pictures as we would have if we went to our normal places. Tell you what, taking 3 photographers to a track is always scary, especially when Brian goes way out of focus.
hang on.
Yeah, he's gonna use
We're
the
good.
force here.
We're good.
Gonna
Watch.
gonna
No,
Yoda
no,
this
try
thing
again.
here.
Don't mind those beer calluses. It's not working this time. God damn
No,
it.
see, you
No,
went too many times.
Gotta use the left hand. Yes.
He used the magic touch up one time, and that was it.
It's
Oh
like
my
somebody else is doing it.
And the worst
Just
thing
roll.
is he's gonna have to talk here most of the intro because Chris
Yeah.
and I weren't at racetracks last weekend. Brian
Yeah.
is the only one that was
Yeah.
at a racetrack. So
Well, it's a good thing we got faces for radio.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
whatever.
Yeah.
Man, I got
As
cleaned
long
up
as
on
you fix it before we do the interview.
I got cleaned up on
Haha,
Saturday.
yay,
too.
editing.
That was a good beard. Anyway,
Now it's a
whatever.
beard. So
Yeah.
what do we have going on this last week?
All right. Well, we were gonna broadcast last week, but
Yep.
our interviewee couldn't make it, and so off to the
Good.
races we went.
Yeah.
I did take Friday off last weekend. I stayed home with the pup. My wife was out of town, but Saturday we're back at it. I trekked out to Grundy. We played musical photographers.
We did.
So I trekked out to Grundy, just like old times. I had no issues getting there. It is different going on a Saturday afternoon, I tell you
Mhm.
what.
Oh yeah.
And then so they ran the Aaron Willis Senior Memorial, which kind of got me into a little bit of hot water because I did not know what was going on. And they ran a trophy dash, which is much like old times. Great. But, I was in Victory Lane. I put out the Heat Victory Lane sign, and he got out of the car, and two ladies walked up with another sign and a trophy. And I'm just like, wait a second, this is just a heat. What's happening? Turns out they ran a trophy dash, and then they ran heats. But
Mhm.
yeah, anyway, it was a good time. Had the Candyman 33 race that was rescheduled from the previous week, rain out. Great race. I know if you go on Facebook, there might be some differing opinions on that.
It depends on
But,
which good driver you're
Yeah, it
asking.
depends who you
Yeah,
ask, probably.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of times those asphalt tracks kind of get one lane. It was a hell of a show. But really across all the classes, they put on some good racing out there.
Yep, Caleb's been doing a lot of work, and he's got that second groove right where it needs to be. I was a little concerned after the trailer race that we had undone all the good work he's been putting in all year. But yeah, it looks like the second groove's still there. Hint, hint, wink, wink. S4 team next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Stan's chomping at the bit to get back up in that outside lane. So
yeah, and then so we had Leslie cover us down at Shady Hill. And
right, I think it was her first time there in 2 years, even though I keep hearing, I want to come out and shoot with you guys.
Yeah, it's been a while, but she was happy to be back, it sounds like, and
Mhm.
got some good photos for us. Excuse me, and
yeah, that lemonade's
Cam,
coming.
yeah, Cam Schuyler got his. Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. I'm gonna go out of focus now. But big news from Shady Hill is Lee House is still undefeated in stock cars. More importantly, Cam Scheidler got his first modified win, and that was awesome to hear because I wasn't there. But side note to all of this, apparently I have nothing but bad luck at the racetrack. Okay, and I'm sorry to everybody.
And it's only when you go west.
No, I've been asked not to come back to Shady Hill because I'm bad luck because Cam Scheidler can't win a race when I'm there. So I was asked not to come back, and then I was asked not to come back from Grundy because we
used the wrong sign.
No,
Trophy dash.
no, because it was like 2 hours longer than they were expecting it to be over. I don't know. You
So
know,
yeah,
it's like,
last time I was there, we went pretty quick.
it was pushing like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, man, this is a good night. We're early. And Caleb was like, I got into the tech shed to put the signs up, and Caleb's like, I blame you, and is like looking me dead in the eyes. And I go, for what? And he goes, the bad luck. I looked at him. I go, well, that's ironic because the track I'm normally at got done 2 hours earlier than when I get there. And I'm just like, man, I am just nothing but bad luck. And
and I'm gonna hear it on Friday.
yeah,
Don't you ever let him come here again.
yeah, Caleb did finish up the conversation with "Don't come back," and I said, "I won't." So
It's like I won't come back the rest of the year.
I'm sure
Until next week.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll find my way out there again, but with Chris and not running the show, just taking B-roll back in the pits or in turn 2 or whatever, you know. But it was a good weekend of racing. What I watched, what I saw on the photos from Shady Hill, and then Plymouth had their championship night. So let's take a side note and talk about how wild that is. Like, championship night already is just kind of unfathomable. You know,
well, I feel like that's kind of a holdover from South Bend because I know
Notre Dame football.
Yeah, yep. Notre Dame football.
Hard to compete on a Saturday.
Yeah, Grundy's got the same problem because I mean they're finishing up this coming weekend, and once Morris High School football starts, they roll the sidewalks up on Fridays.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. High school football. Yeah. But I don't know. You want to run down the champions?
Yeah, I'll run down the champions. I don't know a whole lot about what happened because I was in Rockford, but yeah, congratulations to all the champions. Don't mind me reading off screen here. The Value Tool and Engineering Modifieds, Jonathan Gatton, and I'm reading out of order, but yeah, we can edit that. TechWorks Trailer Sales Outlaw Late Models, Andrew DeVries. I think that might be his first championship, but don't quote me on that.
We're quoting.
Oh, okay. R&B Car Company Street Stocks was Cody Lawler. He's related to our friend Kindle, who's worked for us and worked next to you. In fact, you got to spend all
she was there Saturday.
Yeah,
she shot with me.
Let's see. Swan Lake Resort Factory Forge was Derek Danley, as you called him, the mullet dad. Chop House Front Wheel Drive was Zeke Gata. Howard and Sons Towing Hornets, Kyle Royster, another one of our little band of miscreants. Then Mini Wedges, which finished up their season, their point season on Sunday, which is always fun going out to see the Mini Wedges. So gonna miss being out there on Sundays, but I know they got a couple big shows. They're participating in the showdown on the 14th, which is a Saturday of that weekend, and then Tony just announced the Mini Wedge Nationals coming on October 19th, which of course is also Goblin 250 at Grundy. So yay, scheduling us in multiple places at the same time. And I think you got something going on that day too.
Yeah, I'll be celebrating my 10-year anniversary that weekend.
So
why not do it any place better than a racetrack, right? Come on.
I don't know. I don't think Kelsey would approve.
Probably not.
You don't suggest that?
Nope.
We get a couple of hot dogs.
Yeah, that's your one good excuse.
They might let me drink a Miller Lite that day. Who knows?
It might be early in the day. You can go out later.
Yeah, right.
So yeah. Anyway, the brand roofing micro wedges was Monster Mesa Vitale and that little Super Mario Kart. He's just so much fun to watch.
That's the 4-year-old.
Yep. Now it's Goodacre Photography Junior. Kid Knox Stanley, and in this post is where I discovered that we sponsored a division. So hey, all right. And then the Eldridge Enterprises Senior Wedges was friend of the show Sam Banta. So we're gonna have to get her on again and harass. I mean, interview her about what it's like winning a championship and moving up to bigger cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to all of them, and just thank you to the Plymouth Speedway for having us as often as we can get out there, because I love shooting out there. It's I get to visit the old Illiana lights, and from what it looks like, possibly even some old Illiana stands. Kevin, adding in all the stands there in the pits.
Right.
And some old Illiana drivers. Sean
Well,
Wilker Hunt,
Sean's been there a few times.
the whole group in the corner.
So I'm pretty sure anytime Scotty Gardner's there and you're there's bad things going on.
Speaking of bad things, I made my way out to Kankakee a few Fridays ago for the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame Vintage Night, which brought the bad luck, which meant we're gonna have a rain-shortened night. And I tell you what, those are some really beautiful pictures of that storm rolling in, and I really thought we were gonna make it, because the wind really picked up, and it must have been blowing about a steady like 20, 25 mile an hour with a few 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts. I thought we were smoked. Then it went like dead silent, nothing, and it stayed comfortable, but it didn't get like cold or anything, and no rain. So I was like, awesome, great, we're gonna get this whole night in. I can be happy. I went out to Kankakee, got a whole night in, and then we finished the vintage feature. A lot of cool shit there. You go look at the pictures on goodacrephotography.com from 2 weeks ago, and then they were bringing out the pro mods, which was $1,000 to win, and they got to the start finish line heading into turn 1 of their pace lap, and I saw the rain, and I felt a few drops, and okay, not hard. By the time I got to turn 1, man, just downpour. I'm like, oh my god, here we go again. So rain short night turned into double features last week. So they had,
which Aaron was out there for, because we didn't have a race to go to, so he said, well, let's go to a race.
Yeah, and I guess they put on, and old Illiana driver Mike Martin once again gets himself caught up in some wild racing action, and rolls it down the front stretch. But sounds like he's okay. Not so much the car, but forward we move, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so after they went ahead and wrapped up the double features, you crowned all your $1,000 winners and all the Facebook drama race night gives you.
No.
Yeah.
Never seen that happen.
Yeah.
Never.
But yeah, so they got that in. It sounds like they've been getting good car counts out there, and Billy's doing a good job with that track. I will say I haven't really seen a whole lot of posts from him. Usually race day he's been putting something up, but I know there for a while in June and July he was posting quite a bit. But they were struggling quite a bit with weather. I feel early in the season, but now they've had a few weeks off, and they're kind of hitting their stride just in time for the season. And unfortunately, but ultimately we wrap up all of the past week's action with Chris and Aaron venturing out to Rockford.
Mm-hmm. And I, as much as I hate getting, I think we were quadruple booked that day. We had 1, 2. Anyway, as much as I hate having to be all over the map like we were, I do very much enjoy going to the museum and working with the Hall of Fame bunch. There's a great group of people. Just having all that living history there in the same room is just amazing. Wayne has an absolutely beautiful facility. It's you got to pack a lunch to go from the front desk all the way back to the Hall of Fame, but there's so much cool stuff to see along the way. And me being the nerd that I am, love stopping in the Batman, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future room. There's like wax figures of most of the presidents. There's cars, limos, gangster cars. I think it's got the Bonnie and Clyde car from not the actual Bonnie and Clyde car, but from the movie Bonnie and Clyde. There's the Flintstones mobile. There's the Bigfoot with the giant, not the standard Bigfoot, but the one that had the just ludicrously large tires. There should be some B-roll playing over this. I think there's Dick Trickle's car, Dick Trickle's other car, Mark Martin's car. It's just some racing stuff, some the history back in the clear Hall of Fame cases is just it's cool having known some of those guys, but it's like I'm trying to think. There's Larry Middleton's got a case back there. Dave Weltmeyer, inducted this year was Jerry Kemperman. Ed Hoffman's in it. I believe Bob Dotter got inducted the year that we had even more scheduling issues and I couldn't make it. But yeah, it's just such a cool place. I'm really kind of at a loss for words for how much just absolutely amazing stuff that Wayne has, both racing and non-racing. And then, last year, I chalk it up to personality. Last year, I got about maybe 30 seconds of FaceTime with Kenny Wallace because it's Kenny Wallace. And Aaron and I talked to Joe Ruttman. It feels like probably about an hour over the course of the night. And that, he was supposed to sit down and sign autographs. I think he was doing more standing up and telling stories than he was signing autographs. But just could listen to the man talk all day. He was just so a part of kind of racing, not really at its infancy, but kind of the modern era's infancy. And, everything that he's experienced and was telling us about, and just he said that that he was asked to come up here for this, but he wants to come again just because it is such a nifty place and there's so much history there.
Yeah, I think that says a lot about the place where your keynote speaker, your guest, just wants to come back just to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so last week we were gonna preview the induction ceremony with Art Furman, but had some scheduling conflicts and technical difficulties and things kind of get in the way. Just that was not happening. So we rescheduled for this week, and he ended up having to travel out of town. So we lined up a stand-in for Art. We were able to get Jerry Clark, who's on the board there at the Hall of Fame, to come back to the show. We had him on earlier this year when we were out at the memorabilia show. So happy to welcome him back in. And what you say we just get right to it and bring him back in to talk about everything going on at the Hall of Fame?
Bring it on.
All right, here is our interview with Jerry Clark.
The Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame show.
There you go.
Our Art Fairman, fill-in Jerry Clark, board member, former racer. Last year you were working a little bit at Grundy behind the scenes. You kind of stepped away, I believe, from that. So now you're just kind of hanging out. But welcome back to the show. You're on with us back in March at the memorabilia show. You and Earl sat down and shared some stories, and we look forward to hearing what you got to say tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how was Saturday? I know Chris and Aaron made the trip up. I know it's a big shindig, a lot of things going on. I made it one year with my dad. We covered for Chris, and it was a good time. You got a lot of vintage cars there, and it seemed like a decent crowd.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a blast. Joe Ruttman, NASCAR legend Joe Ruttman was there, and man, he's a riot, of course, and all them stock car guys are,
Right. How many stories were told, or did you lose count?
Oh, man. I'm not sure exactly how many we had going there. They were coming from every direction.
Yeah.
Okay, how many were true?
Yeah, I was just gonna say how many were actually true.
And well, the one thing about Joe Ruttman, he started racing Grand National back in 1963, and the rumor was that he wasn't old enough to be driving, and he finished 10th place. It was in California, Grand National race. Yeah, guy's a good driver.
Stan was saying something about his the years that he was racing and the years that he was alive didn't quite math the way they were supposed to.
Yeah, he slid in there. A lot of us kind of did that in our early racing, and
Yeah.
I was 15 in the pits at Raceway and wasn't supposed to be there, but uh,
Didn't Kyle Harvey have a hole in the fence he would sneak in?
uh, I
I thought
could
he had
not.
mentioned that back in March as well.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, luckily it's not there anymore. It's just a shopping center,
This is
grocery
true.
store. Yeah. But now talking about Joe Ruttman being too young to race. Chris went out Sunday to the mini wedges over there at Plymouth, and we got what 4-year-olds driving go
Yeah.
karts with body. And I've been a few times, and like it's cute and all, but yeah, we start them young nowadays. You don't have to worry about uh uh falsifying your driver ID or anything.
I know they're young,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Man,
geez. If you ain't got a late model championship before you got your driver's license, you're not making it to Cup.
Yeah.
this is true. Yeah.
You still might have a shot at the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame, though.
Yep.
And so you had a great time on Saturday. We got a lot of pictures posted over at goodacrephotography.com.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, I want to thank all you guys with your photographs and all you do for short track racing and local. And, uh, it's a lot of good memories, and you guys are putting it out there for us. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jerry.
Yep.
We're all happy to
Thank
do
you.
it. Whether it's photography or talking about racing or actually racing, gives us something to shoot. And so maybe one day we end up there. As I know, I was watching the Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame induction a couple weeks ago down at the North South 100, and they actually inducted somebody as a friend of the sport. So, Chris, we got a chance.
Yes,
uh,
yes, you
so
do.
So, what is your role as a board member, Jerry? I know I've seen you out around at race nights, promoting. Specifically, I was at Kankakee. You guys had the table out and all that, and the memorabilia show we were there. But there's a list of events you guys do. What's your role with all of that in the hall?
Uh, Earl and I usually do all the road stuff. We go to the different tracks and put the name out there, for the Hall of Fame. And once the inductions are set up and the people we know who they're going to be, sometimes I'll go out and collect their artifacts and for the museum and interview them and talk to them um, and just about anything they need us to do.
Yeah.
Pat, Art, and Pat. They got a heavy load, and we try and lighten it up for them. There's 10 of us all together, including Art and Pat
Good.
on the
Yeah,
board.
I read up a little bit. It's broken up to different segments, I guess, regions of the state. I'm not sure exactly how many regions you have, but obviously we're deeply involved here in your, I believe it's your region with Grundy and Raceway
Mhm.
and Santa Fe and everything that used to be here that unfortunately now isn't.
Mhm.
Um, so kind of talking about your events, I know. So at Kankakee, you guys brought out an old car, and you talked about finding artifacts. How easy or difficult is it to find some of these things? Photos I think are pretty easy, but car parts and driver suits and helmets, I can't imagine being very easy to find.
Oh no, it's some are they've held on to their stuff, and some if they've passed away, and some of the family have, some haven't. Yeah, it's sometimes it's a trip to to get it all together, but everybody's usually pretty good about giving us what we need.
Yeah. Has Facebook been a big benefit of that, being able to reach out to people a little bit easier?
Yeah, Facebook has helped enormously.
Good, good. I know we talk a lot about negativity on Facebook and social media, but there's a good positive of social media is how easy you can track things down and find people. How many? I'm curious, and maybe you wouldn't know the answer. Maybe we'll never know the answer, but how many people have not even known about the Hall of Fame until somebody in their family gets inducted and you guys reach out. I think that'd be kind of cool to find out.
Yeah, there's some. The South region, they don't get as much and they don't get on the Facebook as much, I guess, as far as the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame. But yeah, that's happened quite a bit. That they don't find out until we reach out to them.
Right. It's a long haul from Southern Illinois all the way
Yeah.
up to Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
'Cause you're. I remember when I went, we were in true dad fashion. We were a few minutes early, and by a few, I mean I think at least a half hour, maybe an hour. And
Mhm.
I'm a big beer guy, as we all kind of know here, and
No, not you.
I made the 10-minute trek north up across the state line there, and found myself a case of spotted cow.
Oh
Which is
yeah.
which was fun to bring back. There's also, so Dad wasn't a drinker, for his own personal reasons, but it was interesting to go into a liquor store with Dad.
I bet.
I could just imagine.
I think his blood pressure went up a little bit, and I think I saw skin crawl a little bit too. You know, but
Jeez.
we made it back to the induction ceremony and the activities just fine.
Yeah.
And took some good pictures. So you guys do what I believe is called, it's some sort of parade. You kind of line them up, and you have an old man who used to flag, kind of wave the checker. Talk about
Jack's not an old man.
No.
talk about that. I
He's
think
in
that's
his second
cool.
childhood. That guy, he's got more energy than I ever thought about having anymore.
Yeah.
Jack Hyman from Rockford. Yeah, he's something else, and a real nice guy too.
Hmm.
Good. I'm sure the guys that get their cars there in line probably just love firing it up. But I know the year my dad and I went, you guys did a couple laps, like almost an actual race right there on the street in front of was it Left-Hander Chassis?
Yeah, left-hander.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys still doing that, or has it gone to just the parade?
Nah, we had to take that off of the list of things to do. I'll tell you that had a couple guys that almost went in the pond. So and there's a giant boulder at the end there on turn 3, and one guy almost took that. And well, I think the insurance company might frown about this. So we cut it back to a nice parade, and everybody has a great time.
Mm.
Awesome. Well, you guys certainly have a lot of fun up there. But let's talk about the recent expansion, which maybe not be so recent, but I know Chris and I were talking that it's more than doubled in size over the past handful of years. And when Dad and I went up years ago, I think it was 18 or 19, we went through the museum. It was very cool, very interesting. But, the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame part itself was very condensed, kind of into like the small center part, almost like the middle of the maze, So you've been up there, you've been around, you're on the board, so I'm sure you're part of some of the decision making. But talk about the expansion, what all's kind of been added up there.
Well, we're in the second building. It's it is doubled, and as Chris will tell you, it's altogether different. The whole back section belongs to Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame, and we're surrounded by everything car related and hot rods. We have a Mark Martin car there, a Richard Petty car, and it's really neat.
Yeah, when we were wandering around before we started with all the festivities, Aaron was commenting to me that his favorite car that he ever, the purple Dick Trickle car, and then his least favorite car, because every time Mark Martin's 2 showed up, he knew Dick Trickle wasn't necessarily going to win.
Yeah. They were 2 of the best for sure. Yeah.
So of all the artifacts there in the museum, including Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame and everything that has been added in, what's your favorite artifact up there?
Well, I'm an old Raceway Park guy, so I'm gonna Wayne Adams microphone with his picture, his original microphone from Raceway Park. I mean, it's it really, it makes me think about him and the days of racing, and he announced at Raceway at several tracks around the Chicagoland area, and he was an icon, and that's it.
Awesome. I know when I went up, I found the old Illiana Victory Lane sign
Mhm.
that the small oval one we did for features. I don't know what happened to that big billboard on chalkboard on wheels monstrosity. That thing was heavy as hell. But
Hey, at least it was
I
on
thought,
wheels.
yeah, I thought it
Yeah.
was pretty
True.
cool. So talking about artifacts and the museum itself, how many I guess inductees would that be? How many inductees
Yeah.
have you guys amassed over the years?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I don't have that total with me. When we first started, we had a lot of inductees, and they've cut back now.
Gotcha.
Um, I'd have to look that up for you on that one.
How many inductees do you do per year now? Just like one per region, or
Now we've cut back to 4 total now.
4 total inductees? Boy, you
Yeah.
better be good to get
Yeah.
in now.
Yeah. Well, we still have a friend of the track or friend of the racing that's still there.
Gotcha. So we still got a chance.
Yeah.
Still got a
Yes.
chance.
I mean,
Yes.
we might be pretty low on the list if we're on there, but hey, we got a chance, and that's all we need, right?
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame is surprised by members that do the vote, all the voting. And
Mhm.
right
Oh
now
yeah,
so we're right around a little less than 200, I say, members
yeah.
altogether, and they all get to nominate and vote for the
Oh,
person they want in. Yeah, so it's not just a 10-man board that makes those decisions.
gotcha.
It's everybody
Awesome.
involved.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's neat. So if someone were to want to become a member, how would one do that?
You can go on the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame website and punch it in, for membership, and then you just mail the paperwork in, and I think it's $35 now total for the whole
Okay.
year,
Oh,
and
perfect.
that you get to vote, nominate, you get a newsletter every quarter newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah, yep, and you're free admittance into the museum.
Cool.
Yeah, you don't have
Cool.
to pay to get in the museum.
Man, that's a
Yeah.
good deal. Might be a
Yeah.
long drive, but definitely worth it.
It's worth it. That's a cool
You
museum.
know what?
Oh,
Anybody in the area that's going to the Dells, swing on in right
There
through
you go.
Rockford.
Right
yeah.
there.
There is
Grab.
something there for everyone. I'm not
Mhm.
just the racing people. Uh,
Yeah.
there's something there.
Yeah. When Dad and I toured, I mean, you guys had the big Bigfoot monster truck in there.
Still there.
You had
It's still there.
The Kennedy exhibit. You had all kinds of presidents. I think you've got all the presidents now, based on what I saw on
Yeah, I believe we
Facebook.
do. Yeah,
And ventured. You had a whole Lincoln a room devoted just to Abraham Lincoln,
yeah,
which was pretty neat, and all kinds
Mhm.
of artifact. It's the historic. Let me see here. Historic auto attractions. That's what it's
There
called,
you go.
right? And yeah, sorry, I had to look in my notes. But
yeah,
there is far more than just auto stuff. You know,
yeah,
the whole Lincoln Room. I don't know if there's any auto stuff in there. I think they're like a rocking chair and little piece of wood and just like stories and
yeah.
all kinds of stuff. And there's all kinds of different rooms. And as you vent as obviously I'm talking from past experience. I'm not sure where everything is now, but as I ventured through room to room, there was a lot of car stuff, and it went from movies to sports and
Yep.
presidents stuff. And I want to say there was a car there that was completely covered in pennies,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
really cool. And
It-
how
we have
how are some of those found? Is there a team that goes out looking for that, or is it just something pops
that.
up on the eBay site and it shows up?
That's all Wayne Lansing. That's his.
Okay.
That's his
Man,
baby. And
Wayne is
I
a
tell you,
history nerd.
Gotcha.
man, oh man, that guy. I got you on that. We
Yeah.
have to thank Wayne. Without
Oh,
Wayne,
absolutely.
the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame would not have a home. We would be wherever. And
Yeah.
and he's really great. He's
Mhm.
real receptive. Um, as far as the museum now, they got a Western town now. You got to go
Okay.
see that. That
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, Wayne was bragging to me before I went in that was liberated from the Rockford Speedway.
Oh, I
Wow.
didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah, okay, he was telling me there was part of it that was kind of like built up to look like the Old West, and Wayne tore all that out and put it in his museum.
Interesting.
So
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
part of the Old West is very local to that museum.
Wow. So let's talk about Wayne a little bit and his connection. So Wayne Lansing, he's the owner of Left-Hander
Yes.
chassis, and
Yep.
it just his disposable income is kind of just become his geek out nerd auto attract historic cool things, and he just I guess buys what he wants and puts it in the hall, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot of research and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. We were up there when we had to move the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame section to the back building, and he was there sun up to sundown, doing everything and planning it all out. And when he wasn't in there, he was in his office, looking over things and planning out things. And it's real meticulous.
Good.
Mhm.
As a beer delivery guy, I can tell you that sweat equity goes a long way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Money is nice, and selling things is can be easy, but getting in there and doing the work goes a long way with people.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris will tell you when he was talking at the induction ceremony, and he pulled out the dollar bill. Remember that, Chris?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he said, "This dollar here is where it all started." And I bought parts for my race car and built a
Mhm.
car, with $1, and that's where he started.
Boy, if parts cost $1 these days, that'd be nice, right?
Really?
Yeah. So you guys are doing big things up there, and seems to be pretty successful by all means.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have a great group. You're talking about the Hall of Fame, or you're talking about the whole deal?
The whole deal that
Yeah.
includes the Hall of Fame and all the historical auto stuff that Wayne finds and
Oh yeah.
brings in.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a team. It takes
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
All of us, everybody puts in the work and then they get her done.
Good. And this is kind of year round, right? You guys, I mean, this past Saturday was kind of like your what would penultimate
Yeah, this
your
is
big moment, your Super
There you
Bowl,
go.
and
our Super Bowl, our Daytona.
yeah.
This is what it was. It's uh, all year long we're collecting things and making contact with people, and it's just it's a year long thing.
Yeah. So
And
now that it's over, I mean, are you guys gonna put your feet up and relax a little bit? I mean, obviously, Art's headed back to Florida to, I guess, go to a beach, maybe.
well, you know what? He's probably. I bet the next day he was planning next year. It
Oh,
is
good.
exactly
Good.
the way they go. And
Well, him and
Earl
Pat
and I.
got a long ride back to Florida to
I
talk,
don't
right?
know. Watching Art at the ceremony, I think he was already planning stuff
It
while we were
probably
eating.
was. It probably was. If there was a little something that he wanted to change, it'll be changed for next year.
Mhm.
'Cause that's the way he plans it out. And Earl and I will be doing the booths. August 31st is the Maison Grundy Hall of Fame this
Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah. Yep.
And Earl's going to have an Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame booth set up there. And
Yeah, you're on the board for both, aren't you?
I'm on the committee for Maison Grundy Hall of Fame. And we got a great group of guys there too. And we're talking about Stan. He's on both. Stan Kalzinski. That guy, man, he does a lot too. A lot.
If
Tony Baran.
Stan is definitely our encyclopedia for
Yeah.
Chicagoland racing knowledge.
Oh, he's a wealth of knowledge. Yeah. If he doesn't know, he'll find out.
Yep.
That's the thing. Yeah. And Kankakee, we're talking about Kankakee. We're going to have a booth set up there September 20th, night of features. And Bill Stevenson's got this vintage guy. He's going to be there and do another ride along.
Yeah.
Anybody witness that yet?
Yeah,
Oh man,
I did. I got a few pictures of it.
that's
Man,
great. That was
that's
great.
wild.
I think I heard somebody screaming when they went by.
Oh, I'm sure you did because I saw him coming out of two right up against that wall, man, and whew, that's gotta be
It
fun.
was a blast. It was a blast.
Good. Yeah. So lost my train of thought. Darn it.
Left the
had
station.
We're having too much fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's how racing goes sometimes, right?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So throughout the year, you guys are around the racetracks, the memorabilia show, and you guys are promoting yourselves. You've got what seems to be a decent membership, and the unfortunate side of things with the Hall of Fame, these are aging people, and you lose them along the way, unfortunately, and so as you go track to track and event to event, you give the opportunity to kind of show yourself off. Is the induction ceremony that's open to the public?
Yeah. There's a limit on seating.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because it's I think it's 130 or something like that.
Gotcha.
It's the seating there at the
Okay.
banquet hall. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but
Gotcha.
yeah, and we have to guarantee so many seats for each inductee. That way it's
Right.
to be fair to the
Yeah.
inductees. Yeah. And then after that, it's whoever wants to come. Yeah,
Cool.
there's a lot of fans out there for the.
Yeah.
Well, like this year it was Stash Coleman and Jerry Kemperman, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, these are all Raceway guys, and um, and I forgot this guy's name. I'm not Ed Bauman. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Ed Bauman. He's from down south.
Gotcha.
So real good driver,
Yeah.
and of course we can't forget about Kenny Sawinski.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Stitz, great guy, great lettering. Oh man, yeah, he was part of the Brushmasters, if you ever heard of that, and they're an organization that
Mhm.
does a lot of stuff with McDonald's house.
Yep, those guys they're just absolute magic.
Oh man.
Like I wish I was as good as they are, even just with a computer, and they're just doing it freehand.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about losing people, and Art Dexter, we just lost him. Yeah, he was one of the best, as far as lettering cars and signs and
Mhm.
such, and Kenny Stitz will tell you that Art's what got him going, got him hooked on it. No, we just lost Art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a graphic designer, I have a lot of respect for people that hand painted race cars back in the day, and they looked good.
Yep.
Anybody can take a spray can to a 4-cylinder these days, but
Oh,
well,
we lost Jerry.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
hi Jerry. I guess that was it. He timed out.
Ah,
Oh, yeah, we'll see if he pops back in here. But
hopefully.
yeah, the beauty of there he is back in,
Okay.
Yep.
and he's
Lost
back.
you
All
for
right.
a
Well,
second.
welcome back.
Lost you for a second.
Yeah.
That was my
Well-
T-Mobile.
Here we are, another podcast, another technical difficulty.
Yeah, wouldn't be right if
Yeah.
there wasn't one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're running out of new problems to have.
I know. I think we've got just about all of them this year. All the rest
Right.
of them.
Right. But we are just acknowledging all the talent that used to be with hand lettering these race cars and how sharp they look to
There's
spray.
so many.
Yeah, to now spray cans on 4-cylinders. If you're lucky, you might have some good overlay graphics on top of your printed graphics. I don't know too many cars that are hand painted anymore, so that is definitely a lost generation that we'll do our best to bring back with stickers.
You can always tell who did mine because I had a stencil. So
Yeah.
it looked like a stencil when I first started, and then I had Woody Poole and Danny Collier. Yeah, it's another thing. Danny hasn't been doing too well either. I need everybody to say a prayer for him.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
So as we go ahead and wrap things up here, and you just exited. I'm sure you're trying to get out.
He's trying to run away.
If you
Ah,
we try to bring some positive light onto the sport of racing because social media has been awfully negative, and Tony Eldridge over the Plymouth Speedway started a hashtag one positive with the podcast a few years ago. So we like to continue that trend. So if you've got one positive, Jerry, that racing has proved in your life, we ask if you would share it with us.
the positive is it's like a family to me. That's a big positive. 1973, I started in hobby stock division, and and you grow to know everyone, and they all become part of your family. And they're all willing to help you when you have a problem. And I found that's the same up now at Grundy. They help each other out. I had someone needed a carburetor, and the competitor loaned them a carburetor. It's just very good, very good. Grundy and Kankakee, the two I've gone the most to, and they're really pushing, to increase the car counts. They're really pushing to get the people in there, and it's to me it's fun. And my big thing with the Hall of Fame is getting to call these people that I raced with back in the day, or my heroes back in the day. I get to call them and tell them they're inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that's the best for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Well, if you want to take a minute here and thank any supporters at this point, I don't know how many sponsors you
Yeah,
got.
thank your sponsors, Jerry.
If you want to give a shout out and thank you to all your supporters for all you do in the race world.
Oh, let's see. I had a little list going in case you asked me.
He's prepared.
Good.
Just
Good.
a short one because I did it quickly. And Tiber Jet for all they do for the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame. Left-hander chassis, of course, Wayne Lensing. Hoosier Tire. We got Terry Young down there. And let's see who else we got up here real quick. Shepherd Racing. For as far as the Maison Grundy Hall of Fame, I'd like to thank the executive board, Julie Russell, Joe DeBello, for all their help and keeping the board together. And Dan Hill, he's the liaison for the committee. I'd like to thank them. That's it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for coming on, Jerry. We appreciate it.
I'm sure Art appreciates it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
I'll see you
worry.
Saturday, right, guys?
Yeah. Right. Well, Art had his chance and couldn't make it, and so we rode with you, Jerry, and we appreciate you coming on and look forward to seeing you at the racetrack.
All right. I want to thank Jerry Clark from the Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame for coming on and being the one voluntold as tribute to stand in.
I
Well,
tribute.
Yeah.
I volunteer.
Yeah.
Art usually refers to Jerry and Earl as his road crew, so this just kind of lumped into his road crew duties.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So what'd you guys
Worked out.
think?
Good. It was a good interview. And
Says the guy that did it.
Says the guy that did it, right?
Yeah. Oh, he was a good interviewee.
Okay.
I'm still working on the whole interviewer part, but anyway, was kind of thrown together last minute. Labor Day weekend, got a lot going on at work. Delivering beer because everybody's thirsty
Everybody
this
wants
weekend.
beer this weekend.
Which is not a problem. I'm drinking a Fresca. Gotta stay hydrated. I'll have a beer here when we wrap this thing up. But yeah, it's
That's
good
why
to
he's in
talk to.
focus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's good to talk to Jerry. I don't have a long relationship with him, but I certainly over the past year or two have grown to know him, and I know he was it was a race director. I think
Yeah, he was
his role at
race
Grundy.
director there at Grundy.
And I think stepping away from that role and kind of really focusing in on the Hall of Fame role, I think has done well for him. When we were down at Kankakee, I say we, like there was a group of us. But when I went to Kankakee that night, I ran into Stan, got to talk to Stan, said hi to Art, ran into Paul Pettit of all people. He was down there watching, and Earl was there. Him and Jerry were under the tent selling the Hall of Fame. They had the Bill Stevenson ride along card, which is very cool. I really considered putting my name in the drawing, but I'm like, no, because I'm gonna want to take pictures of it, but I can't see through the helmet they put on you. But anyway, if you get the chance to go to Kankakee, man, and it's a vintage night and they're doing that, put your name in. It looks super fun. You get 5 laps, and Wild Bill Stevenson, I mean, he puts you up against the wall. And I don't know, I would have to bring in a second pair of pants. Let's be honest. It looks that fun, and I got to shoot with Stan that night, which was really cool. We certainly idolize Stan Kalasinski and all he's done for the local racing, and
idolized and financialized. God knows, Dad bought at least one of everything he owned.
Yeah, he was able to. That's why Jack Kalasinski got a race car, is because Dad bought all the pictures, right? But yeah, it was a good time down there, and I am not that real in tune with the history of Kankakee. I have become a little bit over the past couple of years doing the podcast, but it was, I think Raber was a name that they were kind of honoring. They had I think Provenzano was down there. They brought back old past champions. They got in free sort of thing to the grandstands, and Nippenberg did a great job with that event and inviting back past champions, and they had a good showing. I think it was like 10 vintage cars that night, and they had Lucky the Clown, which way before my time. And if you're afraid of clowns, that's not one I'd go up to. But
Lucky got brought up at the Hall of Fame banquet.
Yeah. And I mean that's cool. We talk a lot about the history of the sport on here, and like that is certainly it was cool to experience and kind of learn a little bit about the history of Kankakee and the families that race there, and like it was even like really cool kind of nerding out is like, okay, you have all these old Provenzano, how many races have I been to recently, and there's a Provenzano running, and same thing with Grundy and Illiana and now Rockford and Raceway Park, seeing names of people that race there, and now their kids or grandkids are racing the tracks that we're at. And I will say kind of historical part, J.R. Rohrig, we watched a ton growing up at the Arco shows. I should have probably done this in the intro, but we did get to see a good race for the 10K
the
Grand
Rule
Slam.
double.
Yeah, Grand Slam deal. Saw a really good race between Rohrig and Crump there at the end. Unfortunately, lap traffic got in the way, but to know, I don't know that I've taken pictures of JR, but Dad did, and certainly JR has a lot of history in Chicagoland racing, doing the Arco races. It was really cool to get. Actually, I had a really cool picture of Tyler Rohrig that I posted to Instagram, which he liked. Feather in my cap, humble brag, whatever. But it's cool to hear Jerry talk about everything going on up there. I kind of wish we had Art with him kind of being a leader of the pack there, but I think Jerry filled in just fine. And I got to get back up there. There's so much more to do. There's so much more for activities. Can we do karate?
Well, now that he's got twice as much building, there is a little more room.
Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, if anybody's up in the area, stop in, say hey, see what's going on. Definitely a lot to see, a lot to do, and like you said, man, it's not just race cars. There's a little bit for everybody. So so stop in. Moral of the story. Speaking of racing history, we're going to be making some more this upcoming weekend. The train don't stop rolling yet. Season is still going.
Yeah, we got like 2 months left.
Wait, I got a lot of notes on this. Hang on.
Oh
man. He's the only one that is prepared, by the way.
The train has stopped rolling.
Here's my notes.
Now he's going to go out of focus again.
Boom. No,
Yeah.
we're good. We're good. We're good. Don't jinx me. We're good. All right. So we did thoughts and opinions. All
We
right.
did
Looking
that.
ahead. Yeah. So Plymouth has just a couple shows left. They've Blueberry Fest this weekend. If you're out in
Yep.
Marshall County, go get
Mhm.
a Miller Lite from the Miller Lite truck and buy some arts and crafts and maybe
Get
get
some
some blueberries.
blueberry donuts, man. Blueberry
Yeah,
donuts
yeah.
are the
So I think
business.
they got Hairball. If you're into old '80s
Hair
cover
metal, man.
bands,
Yeah.
Hairball's Friday night. They got some
Yeah, I'm still
Latin.
a little upset about that. I wanted to go see that concert, and of all the weekends they had to pick,
Yeah, yeah. So before we jump to that weekend, we got Plymouth with their showdown, September 13th, 14th, 15th,
Mhm.
which includes the mini wedges.
it does.
And then
Saturday night.
So I actually wrote this down before they put all that on because the only other thing I had was the Enduro on the 26th. But they have some sort of Crash Bash Night of Destruction on the 12th of October, and then they've got the Mini Wedge Nationals planned for October 19th, which are
Mhm.
both new.
Yep.
But then K3 Kankakee, they're off this weekend, off next weekend, which I think was the Enduro. Sorry, Cameron. And then they jump to September 13th with their championship night. And then they wrap their season up on September 20th. River City Rumble, night of features, hashtag Stole from Grundy, whatever. It'll be, I know when we talked to Billy at the start of the season, he wanted to end the season on a fun note, no points battle, whatever. It also allows for, if they happen to rain out on the 13th, they got another weekend.
Mhm.
But what's really fun for that is they got all the classes. They got vintage there, but cherry on top, we got powder puff race and mechanics race. So that'll be fun to watch if you guys can
Mhm.
make it out. If
Mhm.
anybody can make it out. And then Shady Hill has just a regular night this Saturday. We're going to qualify the mods. Big weekend coming up out there on the 7th, Fan Appreciation, which is sponsored by us. I know Good to Go has their corporate night that night, so they're going to be there. And I believe Harf, Hoosier Auto Racing Fans, is some, I want to say, nonprofit organization here in Indiana ran by Levi Perkins,
I
where
know
they
it's a
kind of,
Facebook page. I get tagged in a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. But they've got I want to say, hold on, I can tell you here in a second. It's a half off night with your Harf membership for any Hoosier Auto Racing fans over at Shady Hill, and
And
then
something about a box of hot dogs.
oh yes, fan appreciation. And there's a lot going on. We we started last year with the hot dog toss, right? Because dumb me had dumb ideas, and
Brian just wanted a hot dog, and
Yeah,
what
and
can I
then
do with
and
Yeah.
your
then
hot dog?
exploded into that.
yeah. The funny part is I did not keep a single one of those hot dogs. I threw them all out, and then I had to go buy one at the end of the night because I was hungry.
That just sounds like poor planning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
exactly
It
what
is.
that sounds like.
I need me a pair of Jay Freet shorts, and so I can stick hot dogs in there. Which, by the way, I'm up to 34 on the year. And then here's your PSA Shady Hill Racers autograph night number 2 is the 14th of September. I know it's just somebody's thinking about me or talking about me.
Probably Kelsey.
So we got 2 weeks. Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks. Get your orders in. I've got a couple lined up. But get them in so I can get those done. And then the 21st is championship night for us at Shady Hill with the Bomber bonus. It's just the top 10 in Bomber points get to run for a little bit of money. And then we finish up the season on September 28th with the Mystery 100. Who knows what the first place modified wins, and then everybody else's. I think it's like 2 or 3 grand for second, maybe a grand for third, and then kind of works its way down. But 4-banger select, I think it is, or maybe 4-banger special. We might have it open. I don't know. And then the ASCT sprints, some new group that's on Facebook. I follow along. Not really sure, but I think they're at Kankakee this year. They've had a couple other races, but like that's 1,000 to win, and I think it's like they got like 1 of 2 engine rules, and then like open tires, and like they don't care about anything else. So it'll be interesting to see that. And then our longest set of notes is for you, bro.
Well, I'm gonna
Your
add one in
weekend.
before that longest
Your
seven notes
weekend.
because we got the final event ever at South Bend Motor Speedway coming
yeah.
up. I believe September 7th is their last crash and bash.
Yeah, they're making a
So-
big deal about that on Facebook.
Yeah,
so,
Tony said the
we'll share it.
trophies are amazing, and he didn't really share any details because I'm sure he
Yeah.
wants them to be a surprise. But
Right.
we have last opportunity to see cars going in circles at South Bend.
Yeah. Although, how many circles do they do on the night of destruction?
There's some circles involved.
Well, loosely circles.
Yeah.
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 It's like that one lap car that held its line the whole way around.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so,
So
Hey,
yeah,
Ro-
our own personal hell tour here at Grundy County Speedway this weekend. We have Friday night. Friday is with the rain out there rescheduled a lot.
Yes,
Is
I have
Friday
it
night
written down.
is Friday night autograph night, or is that
Fan-
Saturday or
Yes.
Sunday?
8:30
Friday night.
Fan appreciation with autographs and Corporal Christian Smith.
Okay,
Friday
right.
night.
The Christian Smith race, Super Cups, that got rescheduled from the rain out. Saturday morning, we've got the Grundy County and Mazan Speed Bowl Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Another one of our heroes, Andy Grod, gonna be part of that induction class. Saturday evening, we've got the Fall Brawl 200 Enduro. And then we do it all over again on Sunday with the whateverth annual Lee Schuler Memorial 61 lap super late models season championship points nights come to an end. That's the night when all gloves are off, all bets are off, crazy things happen, helmets get thrown, people lay down on the racetrack in front of people.
Yeah.
That's always a good show. And then we get Labor Day off to recuperate and edit pictures.
Yes.
Then after that, we got the 7th is a night of thrills, which I think is still a little in flux.
I think it includes monster trucks.
That was kind of a surprise to everybody. The monster trucks. Hey, guess what? We're coming.
Yeah, it's a surprise to me.
Let's see. On the 7th,
Night of Thrills. 9/13 is Tuner Fest number 2. No ride in the rails.
Hold on. We're still on the Night of Thrills. Night of Thrills, we got figure 8 school bus racing, things you shouldn't hit with your car, spectator drags, burnout contest, flagpole race, escape from I-80 race, which I feel like I do on the way out there anyway.
Exactly.
See, Suicide, Strayhorns, Flaming, I think I pronounced that right. Flaming Steel Wall, Rockstar, Russ Wacky Stunts, including a Project Fireball, Micro Cooper, Rollover, Trike, Jump Stunts, Scary Gary, Big Daddy, and more. Yes, I read that off the flyer. So yeah, it's kind of like an old Illiana Crash Fest, just with fewer pure stocks and more other stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, then we got Christy Odom's wedding on the 14th, so I got to be at Grundy again for that. So I will not be at Plymouth Showdown on Saturday. I will only be out there on Sunday. Might even drag Brian with if he's not doing anything important.
Bears.
Like
Football
I said.
season.
Well, hey, Bears are currently undefeated, so we're going all the way to the Super Bowl. You're forgetting.
Preseason champs.
That's true.
Preseason champs. Did you guys watch HBO Hard Knocks last night?
I did not.
Oh my God. Great clip at the end. Austin Reed was like a 4th-string quarterback, in the huddle against the Kansas City Chiefs there at the end of the game. And they're talking about all the great teams, the undefeated Patriots, the 72 Dolphins, the I forget what other team the 85 Bears. And then he said,
you forgot that team?
I think he said one more in between. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But then he goes the last one and said, then they're going to talk about the 2024 preseason Bears. And I'm just like, hell yes, let's go. But football is here. I'm ready for it. But there's still a lot of racing at Grundy, but everyone else is wrapping things up here. You still got
we still got Benhausen weekend, the 20th and the 21st. We got
not really racing, but it's the Lions Club car show.
The car show, yep.
Early October. Then you got Bahama Brackets, the 11th through the 13th, and then the Goblin.
Yep. And then we get like a nap, and then the banquets.
Yeah, I think you're like the first weekend in November.
I believe so. Don't quote me on that
Yeah.
because the
Maybe
banquets
you're
are always
Maybe you're the
banquets are
second
always a
weekend.
little in flux depending on when they can get the
Yeah.
hall reserved.
Well, I think Shady Hill and Grundy both have their dates reserved. I just can't
Well,
remember. I
after
know
last year when we were in
two places at
the
once.
same, yeah.
That was a real treat.
But hey, now I own 2 of everything. So,
Yeah, right.
Well, there
Man.
you go. So
does
still a
that
lot
mean
coming
do
up.
I mean double the spread at both banquets?
Yeah, right. But yeah, as much as like we listed off as a lot of racing, it ain't
Mhm.
much.
No,
It
No.
ain't
I mean
much.
it's gonna go quick here. We're getting into
Yeah.
September here
Yeah.
next week. So
Yeah, I mean August just started like last week, so
yeah,
It
it feels like
feels
summer
like
just
it.
started, man.
yeah. And then I think
Weird.
3 weeks ago was 4th of July when I was out there for the Grundy County Fair.
Yeah.
Another 4-day, 3-day event roll.
Yeah. So moral of the story, time flies and time is running out. Even though there's a lot of events left, time is running out to get your backside trackside. So make sure you are doing that before the snow starts flying here this fall.
Yeah, I think time's running out on this podcast too. So let's talk some positives.
Yeah, what do we got for one positives here this week,
What is
y'all?
positive? I'm gonna roll with I don't know.
Then I'm gonna give my one positive
right.
to
Yeah,
Jeremy, go
go ahead.
first.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm gonna
I'll
give
think
it
of mine.
to safety. Obviously, you mentioned Mike Martin, his wreck there at Kankakee, doing some acrobatics down the front straightaway. Not the first time we've seen him in a precarious position from his days back at Illiana Speedway. So safety's come a long way. He's to be able to be all right, just with some bumps and bruises and everything. I'd say so. My positive would be the safety of that car and him to be able to walk away as it will.
Yeah. It
You
looks like
still thinking you want?
It looks like I'm
Anybody?
looking at Jeremy, but I'm actually looking at you. It's weird. Yeah, let me think a little bit longer.
Okay, I'll talk slow then. So it seems to be the theme of this year, and Jerry brought it up. Hashtag one positive would be family. This time it's our extended Goodacre Photography family. Leslie putting her other obligations to the side for a night, coming back out and getting dirty again, bringing I think his name was Craig with
Craig, yep.
yeah, to help shoot so that you and I could play musical photographer and be all the places that we needed to be. So it's as I often get harassed by you and Mom because I say I more than I should say we, and I'm working on that. This truly is a team effort here at Goodacre Photography because I remember back when we first started and you went off and went to college and got married and Dad was working the scoring tower and I kind of felt like some nights it was pretty much just me and
Yep, it certainly was.
we've come a long way from our early days starting out and scraping together as much as we could just to put some pictures and some albums in that trailer that we borrowed from McCooley and so thank you.
Yeah, you ought to add Mom in there because
well, yes, thank Mom because Mom's
she drove my Jeep. I loaded it up, but she drove my Jeep down and worked the booth for us down there. And Julie did a good job of setting me straight and helping getting things going up there at Grundy.
Yeah, Julie runs as well. I mean, a couple weeks ago, Cheryl mistook Julie for Mom, and I think Julie was a little offended. And I said, "Hey, there are much worse people to be mistaken for."
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, both of them, they run tight ships, and we'd be pretty sunk without them. So thank you to Mom, thanks to Julie,
Leslie,
Aaron for not dying and coming out and being my second shooter.
Yeah. All right. Are you done talking? I think I've got my one positive.
Yeah, you figured it out.
He's got to get it out before he forgets it.
Yeah. All right. So with the compliments that I've received recently over the past couple of weeks and kind of taking a step back and looking at the big picture, I know we've kind of told our story, but I don't know if we've actually told our whole ass story of how we got caught up in all this stuff. But maybe we'll go back and see if we haven't. That could be a good off-season episode. But
is that going to be a Goodacre Photography interview?
It could. We don't have anything going on, nothing lined up. Whatever we can, good fluff piece in February or whatever. Anyway, I gotta say one positive for me is actually Chuck Gonzalez.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Everything he showed, Dad got me the camera, kind of got me into it. I grew up at the track. I have a passion for racing, but a lot of why I'm pretty good at this photography deal at the racetrack stems from my work with Chuck Gonzalez when he was a track photographer at Illiana. And I know Gary Gasper said to me that they had talked, and he actually told Chuck, because Chuck was kind of looking to maybe get back into it a little bit. Gary told him to come to us because we do it all now. We're everywhere, and Chuck made the comment, I guess, back to him that he taught us everything, and so it got me thinking. Everything Dad gave me the water, and Chuck got me to drink it, sort of thing, and so
At this point, I think it's like Kool-Aid.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I gotta give my one positive this week to Chuck for all he showed me and helped bring me along as a photographer. And I know that all of our drivers appreciate the work that you and I do behind the lens, and Aaron, and I know all the photographers around are well appreciated. But I know me personally, I get a lot of praise in messages and tags and whatnot, and I appreciate that, and I owe it all to Dad and Chuck, honestly.
That's great. One positives for this week, guys. If you're out there watching, you want to drop your hashtag one positive, do so here in the comments on YouTube or on the post here on the Facebook page. Two of the places that you can find us at Illiana SCR. Like I said, YouTube, Facebook, and you also find us there on Instagram as well. If you're on YouTube watching this, please hit that like, subscribe, follow, notify bell, all that good stuff. So you get notified when we drop new videos, because that really just helps us help you see all of our new content. Same thing with our Facebook and Instagram. Like, subscribe, share it to all your friends, and share it to their friends, and share it to their friends, and help get the word out. Also, all of our local tracks that we support: Plymouth, Kankakee, Shady Hill, Grundy, Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame. All of them. Go to their pages and like them if you haven't already. Just help.
Go to the museum.
Go to the museum.
Yeah.
Help keep growing the sport. Keep it, keep it going. Obviously, we talk about sometimes car counts being low or grandstand counts being low, and that that's, we all got to look in the mirror and make sure we're doing our part to help the sport we love, and that's what we're here doing every other week this season for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Illiana Stock Car Radio, and we want to thank again Jerry Clark for standing in for Art Fairman for Illinois Stock Car Hall of Fame. Anything else before we wrap up tonight, guys?
Bear down.
Get your backside, trackside, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Boiler up.
Yeah, yeah.
Kick off this weekend.
They start this weekend too.
For me, the best thing about football season is it means hockey season's right around the corner.
That's right.
So go Blackhawks.
October is great. We got 16 professional sports, and 14 of them are going for like 2 weeks.
Something like that. It is crazy. So we will be enjoying that. You guys make sure to get your backside, track sides, and enjoy the last little bit here of the 2024 racing season. And until next time, we hope you enjoy this episode of Illiana Stock Car Radio.